Joining us right now is Lynn. Lynn, we appreciate you. Thank you so very much for joining us. Your film looks good. I know it's under like a few minutes, like a total of 6 minutes and 26 seconds, but it's an animated short and it looks, well, let me put it this way. It's called Friendship and it looks fun. I'm not going to lie. What's it about?
So, Friendship is a story about two childhood friends and the journey they go through, when they're younger, all the way to when they go to high school and college, and how their friendship kind of goes in different directions. And, in the end, how if it's a great friendship, you never lose track of that friend. And so that's the nutshell of it. I don't want to give it away too much, but that's the nutshell of it.
No, I love it, and I love the style, by the way. I have a thought about a film, and I think this would be the style to get it like at least like picked up and then made, into like a full length because I'm not sure how you did this, but you did it really good, and it makes me kind of go, okay, how much time did it take to do that? I'm picking your brain for a reason. There's a reason. I have a really good film ready to go, and it looks like, but if it took like years, then maybe not worth it.
Well, we should talk about that. Maybe I could help you produce it and make it. But
Yeah,
the style of this is actually 2.5D. So what that means is the background is all 3D. So the environment, the cars, the bus, all of that is 3D. The 2D is the characters. And what we used was, after, the 3D software, we used Toon Boom to give it that kind of that 2D look to it. And so one of the things I wanted to do was give it that unique style that you just mentioned, right?
yeah,
I didn't want to have a style like a Toy Story. I didn't want to have, you know, a regular 2D look
right.
to it. And so I went with this style because I wanted to create more of a nostalgia kind of a feeling for the short film.
Yeah. Well, and he hit it. I think if anything, like there's a story that I did about a butterfly. That's not the one I'm thinking, about, making into like, a series. But I have it. It's about a prince. And I recently sent it off to someone that he's like a little guy. He's only 8 right now. And his voice, when you hear it, you go, that's Prince, with there's a dragon involved, there's a kingdom involved, and I think this style would help it kind of get picked up. So I have to say, I know there's an investment of time. What is that like, especially for this? Obviously, you did this, and I think you got more coming, and you'll probably get so like busy, you'll be like, okay, I don't know what to do next. But do you have a team? Do you do it yourself? I found one lady that we interviewed yesterday. She learned herself because her husband said, I think you should just learn it and then do it. And she's like, I'm never going to do it again, probably because she did it all herself.
Yeah, no, I did not do this all myself. There's no way I could have gotten it done. It'd probably still be, in development. This project started actually during the height of COVID when we were all in lockdown. And the idea started coming to me about really about friends and how some friends come into your life for a season, some come in for a reason. And if you're really lucky, you get a small handful that lasts a lifetime. So that was the seed of the idea of friendship. And from there, after I wrote it, we sent out a test pilot for people to read the script. We got amazing feedback from it. We started the animatics. I hired, somebody to do the animatics, and then began to source for the animation team to do the production work of it. And then on top of that, I was also looking for the music composer to create the music for this short film. So we actually ended up hiring a live orchestra to create the final music for the background that you hear in, the entire short film. We probably did about 26 musical takes of different variations before we had the live orchestra come in for it. So I would say, all in all, because of COVID and because of the chaos of so much going on in the world at that time, this project took a little bit longer than anticipated. It was probably close to a year to get done for such a short. But again, it was just unexpected times with what was going on in the world.
Well, I love that you did it this way. I keep saying to people, even though COVID hit and we're still here to tell the tale, it kind of showed people what they were able to do when it came to like I'll give you an example. Like you could get a voiceover with somebody with a mic, get them in a sound studio if you need to. But I've talked to people that do like anime for Pokemon, and she goes into her closet and does a voiceover, and she could do it herself.
Yeah.
And then she sends that off to the person. They get that animated. So that person's working on maybe a storyboard idea, right? And then you could see it because you share like, either Zoom or Skype. You go, okay, let me see that. Okay, can I put that there? Or can I change this to that? And I love the style again because it's quick, it's simple, it's fast, and it's even like a good trailer for like books that are like I think like Harry Potter would have done good if they needed funds way back in the day to get made, so it's a good proof of concept of like a style that I think good job getting a short out of it. I know it takes time, but it's something that I say you can use again and again. Unlike certain like line drawn art, you have to do page by page by page. These you can use again and again and again once you have them, right?
Yes, that's correct. And this whole short film was done via virtual production, as you just mentioned. It was, spread across the world from Australia to Colombia to Asia, so even to Argentina, just
Yeah.
because of the fact that with COVID we were all in lockdown. But one of the things I did want to show is what you could do from a remote production perspective in storytelling.
Yep. Thank you for proving what I've been saying you can do when you're kind of forced to do it. And then you're like, hey, everybody can be safe at the same time. You just need a little funds to be able to pay the bills, the light, behind you, right? It doesn't pay itself,
Exactly.
because some people have day jobs to support what they love, but sometimes they don't. And you like this, I wouldn't want you to work on something else because I don't know when I would get it. Sometimes you depend on people during, I know a lot of people depended during COVID on other people, but they had a day job, they have other jobs. So it's like, is it done? Is it done? Is it done? And then if you're calling a favor in, you really can't. That's why you kind of need at least a financial something. But if you have an idea, hey, I want to make a 3-minute short on this. I just need this clip, this clip, this clip, and this clip. And then I can show that to an investor. He'll say, okay, I get your idea. How much do you need? If you could get that made into a series, would you?
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I'm glad you bring that up because this short film has actually now garnered interest to become a TV series because the characters are so rich that we have so many more stories to tell. And so it is the seed of this short film that allowed investors, TV executives to see what this world is about. Who are these characters versus just a script? I think
Yeah.
that's one of the things that, has a lot of uphill battle when you just have a paper script and no images. Even if it's rough, it's still hard to imagine. But when you have a completed short film, you have painted the world, you have painted the picture of the characters, you have painted people in their lives, their friends, etc., to show how much it could be extended. It's exactly what you mentioned about Harry Potter. If they had to start it that way, that would have been a great way as well if they needed to.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great proof of concept, and I think whatever you did to make it happen, that's why I keep showing it again and again. I'm not gonna lie, people are gonna get mad at me. They're like, "You showed her trailer more than ours. What the heck?" And I'm like, "Look, I got a reason. I got a storybook ready to go. It's a story. It's meant to be animated, but it could go film eventually. But sometimes the dollars aren't there for like like a fantasy, and people wait all day long. And I say, look, get it into comic form. Get it in. I'll give you an example. Keanu Reeves just did one, and people don't even know it was at the comic store. Now it's being made into a feature, but it's him writing it. It's his own creation with art, and it gives somebody the idea of, oh, that's what you want. And then you don't have to wait nowadays for like a following. I know Marvel does and DC does. They've had the following for years, but all you need is like something for someone to see and like that instead of like describing, because sometimes people don't describe really well. We've had some pitches. We have a portion of the fest where people can learn how to pitch, in a good way. But I think when you have like this, you say, this is what it's about, blah, 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 blah. And then you say, watch this. They of course watch it. And then at the end you go, so, I see it going this, that. They have two things that they connect. So even if they go away from you, they still have that visual. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And to add on top of that, what's really important too, as the creator and director, you want to stay true to your vision,
Yeah.
right? And that is sometimes very hard to do when you're seeking money or you have executives who are telling you their vision of the story. And
Yeah.
so when you are able to create a short that actually protects your vision to showcase this is exactly what I see, this is exactly who I see the characters.
Yep.
That way there's no misinterpretation from
Nope.
another person, right? And be like, oh, that's what you meant, right? Because at the end of the day, you have to be happy with the work you create.
Yeah, and you could use this again and again and again. I love that. Like you could have another story about a school bus. You could have a story about a university. Actually, I got a few films about that. Okay. Anyway, my point is this: great job, Lynn. I'm gonna find you on social media. How do I find you?
Okay, well, if you want to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want to learn more about the short, you can go to friendshipshort.com to learn all about it. But yeah, but we should definitely connect. I'd love to hear more about what you're thinking of doing.
Yeah, where are you located, by the way?
In LA.
Even better. Okay, I'll buy lunch, guaranteed. Okay, thank you so very much for spending time with us. Great job on this, and I can't wait to see it in its full because I'm this is one of the very first I'm gonna check out because I'm already hooked right from seeing that trailer. So good job. That means you got to win. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. I'm very honored. Thank you so much, and thank you for just the wonderful compliments and what you do as well. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, more right after this.